Well, we've all seen the dreadful power of what war drones could do, but can combat robots also be used for good? A leading scientist is in Christchurch today to highlight the latest trends with this technology. Jared McCulloch explains.
You may think of this when you hear of robots being used in war, but it's not. However, the discussion is far from being terminated. It's quite a controversial topic, with a professor from Atlanta in the United States coming to speak to Canterbury University students about the idea of using robots in battle, researching all areas of technology and how it impacts the world.
One of the goals of the work that I've been talking about is to try and reduce the casualties associated with non-combatants, which to many seems counterintuitive. But the goal is actually a humanitarian one. We are trying to use this technology to perform better than human warfighters could with respect to the application of lethal force.
The issue has made it to the United Nations to understand the matters surrounding the use of robots in this way through legal and technical perspectives. And a doctoral student says it has been on the UN's radar for some time, with New Zealand being part of the discussion.
There is a United Nations process called the Convention on Certain Conventional Weapons, and that's a treaty that New Zealand is a signatory to. And so New Zealand has to participate in the international debate and decide what is New Zealand's policy on lethality in robots.
The idea is robots would be used as a sidekick for soldiers, being unable to use military weapons. It would not replace humans if a war was to happen. And Sean says robots could be the case here, with New Zealand taking a small-scale approach.
New Zealand may acquire some of these smaller items for its own defence forces to aid the SAS, like small drones, which are maybe the size of a hexcopter, which can be completely autonomous. It doesn't have to be a big, expensive Patriot billion-dollar system. As time goes on, like everything else in computing, the price will reduce, and even New Zealand will be able to buy, even a small country with a small budget will be able to buy some form of military robot.
He says there's a long way to go before seeing robots take to the battlefield, but he compares it to other types of technology, something we all carry around in our pocket.
Robots have been around in some form since World War II, but only a very one or two and a very niche and exotic. But as they become cheaper and cheaper, there will be more and more, and smaller, and cheaper and more affordable. So they'll become like mobile phones. They used to be the size of a brick, and then they'll come down to, and you needed lots of money to buy one. In 10 years' time, robots will become so cheap that everybody and every army and navy and air force will be able to afford them.
But Sean says in the near future he would hope the robots could help reduce civilian casualties in battle.
I would hope that you would see a reduction in war, or that robots are doing more of the dying in war, or reducing the risks to innocent humans in war.
And he says the public shouldn't be worried.
They should be concerned. There are legitimate concerns about the safety of any automatic device that's got dynamite that blows up. But I don't think people should be scared witless, but they should definitely be aware of the issue and concerned. But it is being thoroughly discussed in diplomatic processes.
So as for the idea of Terminator, it's very far off yet.
But that requires a lot of technological research, and it will take time to get those robots where people trust them enough to put a gun in their hands.
The discussion will be back at the United Nations in the next few weeks. Jared McCulloch, CTV News.